Oh, hey there. I meant to do a video about this 2 days ago when it happened. It happened around 4 a.m. in the morning, and it was a rather unpleasant experience. It was a dream that involved a little bit of sleep paralysis, and some of it actually did happen in the sense that there were activities that I did before I went to sleep that I definitely did that were in the dream. Some of it didn't happen, but some of it I did actually do before I started to go to sleep. I'm on a new medication, as I've made a video about, in Vega. Um, these dreams that involve sleep paralysis and just basically vivid dreams that feel real, but it's almost like you're awake, but you still perceive things as the dream goes along, as you interpretate the dream. Now, what I mean by that is, okay, for starters, the dream started with me being quite satisfied with myself over making a dubbed version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I just made a segment of it similar to how Mystery Science 3000 does it. And I was quite proud of myself. That part of the dream did actually happen. I did do that. I threw it up on my Facebook. Anyway, that's how the dream started off. There's some things that are indistinguishable at this point because a lot of people with dreams, as soon as you wake up, the dreams start to fade away very quickly and your memory of them becomes distant until it's gone. However, that's not the same with all dreams. Sometimes you'll have a dream and you'll remember everything about it for years and years and years. And there are parts of this dream I'm going to remember for a long time, and I'll get to that in a second. I didn't see the act in my sleep, but I'd had this feeling in my head that I just brought a chick over to my house, and I'd done the deed with her, and or whatever, just that general euphoria in the back of my head, which I don't know, seemed kind of nice. Anyway, that's when sleep paralysis kicked in. It felt as though my shoulders were being pushed down, and I was lying in the bed, and I had trouble opening my eyes. And when I did, the room was dark, and I saw this figure of. She had long black hair, black eyes. I could see her face, and she had this psychotic look on her face. Like her eyes, they were psychotic. And she actually reminded me a lot of this chick I'd been talking to for the last few months at my favorite restaurant, whom I'm on a first name basis with, which I'm not going to repeat here. And I'm not even going to tell you what restaurant it is. It's one of my favorite places to go to. I go there once or twice a week, and that's actually quite a bit. It's an upscale restaurant, very nice. Women are very, very pretty there. Anyway, it looked a bit like her, but not quite. But it did look a bit like her. There was no talking. But I was looking at her, and she was hovering above me. It would be impossible for both her arms to be pushing me down. And there's a reason for that. And it's because I looked down towards, I guess, because I was laying down flat, so I'd be looking down towards my feet. And she had a butcher's knife in her hand. And that was quite freaky. Then I looked back up, looked at her face, and she looked even more crazy. And I was just like, I really, really hope this is a dream. Like, I remember thinking coherently, like clearly, and based on the information that was available in my dream, I believe I interpreted it rationally and like almost like I was awake, but I was receiving information that was from a dream state. So although it was a dream, it I felt like I was thinking as if I would normally be thinking, and that in combination with the sleep paralysis makes it a bit freaky. Now, I know a little bit about sleep paralysis because I've had it numerous times before. I think antipsychotic medications have made it worse over the years because I get it more frequently. I get more vivid dreams more frequently, and all that sort of medication affects the chemistry in the brain. And I did have it maybe once or twice before I started taking antipsychotic medication 6 years ago, but I never had it so bad. And I think that, in combination with alcohol consumption, promotes this sort of delusional thinking, and all kinds of things can happen in yours when you're having sleep paralysis. You can feel like you're almost floating. Like I've had dreams before where I'm floating through an old derelict house, almost flying, but I have no control of how fast or which direction I'm going in. It's almost like a Offspring music video or a Blink 182 music video or something like that. I don't know. I actually don't watch their music videos very often. I just, from what I remember, I think that's kind of what it was like. Just kind of this movement sort of thing. That's, being in a dark room with a crazy woman with a butcher's knife. It's going to keep you up afterwards. And it did for me. I couldn't sleep for hours on end after that. And I was quite perturbed. I was not in a comfortable position. Like, I could not sleep. And I suspect I will have other dreams like that. It was sleep paralysis because during the dream and when I woke up, I was in exactly the same position. My arms and legs didn't move. I don't believe I talked in my sleep. I didn't talk in my dream, so I don't think I was sleep talking. I never get up and start walking around. Actually, my older brother has before. He doesn't normally do that. When he was younger, he did once or twice. But I've never done that. I've never gotten up out of bed or anything like that. And as far as I know, I've never even opened my eyes. Like, I have in my dream. Like, I've had my eyes closed and then opened them up and seen things before. Mostly shadows moving along the wall and that sort of stuff, Not that often. Once every couple of months, really. But these are the kind of dreams you remember. They're not the dreams you wake up and you forget a couple minutes later, and you're usually not even very interested in remembering because it's just incoherent nonsense. These ones, and that one in particular, were quite, they were vivid, they were strong, and it was a part of the brain that remembers things better. And I remember that part of the dream quite clearly, and as I said, it would be a few years I'll remember that dream quite well. Yeah, she had that kind of crazed girlfriend look in her face. It's not reality, of course. I mean, the chick that it sort of looked like, I haven't brought her home. She's a bartender. Anyway, yeah, and don't think I'm some weirdo who, like, there's a moment a chick starts paying attention to them, I go, oh, she's fantastic. It's like she's my girlfriend, or this and that. No, it's not like that at all. I've had some conversations with her, and I do get the feeling she kind of likes me, so. I mean, it is true. I do go around telling people, yeah, that's my girlfriend. I don't get to touch her or hang out with her outside of this establishment, but we're on good terms. I got a good vibe from her. I do tell people that, and it is kind of true. If you knew anything about me, you would know that I am not bullshitting about these things. Anyway, from what I saw, that was nothing like her. And I have no idea why some part of my brain associated the two things together. It's probably just some chemical crosswire or something, like some confusion that happens in dreams with AIDS, where you're not exactly sure why you dreamt certain things. You never thought of it before, and it's like it's a brand new idea. And some people think it's a good thing because it inspires new ideas into someone's thought pattern, and if they can remember them, it can paint an interesting story. And perhaps it could shed some insight on some questions they don't have answers for. Some people feel that way. And sometimes I feel that way when I have had a dream like that and I actually remember it. But this time, no, I didn't feel that way. It was definitely a spooky dream, I gotta tell you. Although I remember it quite well, if a sketch artist came along and said, well, you tell me exactly the kind of face she was making and the kind of atmosphere it was in, I couldn't recreate it. Like, I would give a description, they would draw a picture, I look at the picture and go, that's not it. And I'm sure I could do that 100 times and I'd never get the exact same picture of what it looked like when I was having the dream. A, I'm just not very good at that kind of description of things. And B, I just don't think it can be replicated. Yeah, I said that word right. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so it was a short dream. It seemed like it took a long time. But then again, I've read up on sleep paralysis, and it can seem like it takes a long time. Usually it only lasts a few seconds to a few minutes, but I swear it seemed like it lasted 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And you go, well, there's so little information that you've given about your dream. How could it have possibly have lasted 15, 20 minutes? I don't know. It just felt that way. It felt like it lasted that long. And I don't like dreams like that, you know. I'm not a big fan of them. It's creepy. I told one guy at work, and he was telling me, well, what if it was the hag coming to visit you? I don't like thinking that thought. I've heard many interpretations of the hag, and I don't like any of them, to be honest with you. The thing is, this woman in this dream was very attractive. In all the videos and stories I've heard about the hag, she's disfigured, ugly, scary. In Creepy Canada, their version of the Bell Island hag, she had atrocious breath and like rotten teeth. If you ever watched the show Creepy Canada, quite a good show. Used to be available on YouTube, and since they've taken it down, you know what? I really ought to go look and see if they put it back, because it was probably about a year ago I noticed they took it down, and I just haven't been bothered to look again since. So it could be back on there. If you ever get the chance, Creepy Canada, the Bell Island hag. Good episode. I'm sure in real life it's just a tourist trap, but it's still a good episode, worth watching. But there are many interpretations of the hag, and I guess there probably is some where she's attractive. That's probably true, but I don't believe I've heard anywhere she's actually attractive. Because in my dream, the woman hovering above me with a butcher knife was attractive, even though she looked crazy. It was mostly in the eyes. One of the first things I did when I woke up, because my computer was on, was I looked up that scene from Ghostbusters where Dan Aykroyd has a ghost hovering above him, and she's undoing his belt and his fly, and because she wants to get down, get freaky, and he just kind of, his eyes roll in the back of his head, and he goes, ugh. Kind of funny, actually. Yeah, it was kind of like that, but not really. There were things that were different about it, but I guess it's sort of the same thing. But no, mine was different. So anyway, it's 1 o'clock and I have to get up early tomorrow, so I should probably go to bed soon. Like now, for example. I don't want any dreams like that tonight. I just want to wake up in the morning, go to work, come back, have a couple of brews, and then go back to sleep and have the day off on Thursday. That would be nice. That's what I want to do. I don't want any more crazy, freaky dreams, at least for the time being. Preferably never. I have heard one psychiatrist tell me when I explained to them I started getting more vivid dreams, I started suffering from sleep paralysis. I've explained this a few times to them, and they said it wouldn't be normal for you not to have dreams, and if we could stop them, we wouldn't, because we think you should have them. And I'm like, yeah, it's almost like your medicine is actually making the dreams worse. It definitely feels like they've gotten worse over the last 6 years than they were before. But they don't ever want to admit when they're wrong about anything. And I just don't trust that stuff. It like I said, it messes around with the chemistry in your brain. So, anyway, probably going to, I don't know, listen to a Gwen Stefani music video or something. Finish my root beer and then go to sleep because I'm feeling tired. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good one.